Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode or series in the series. Tune in and turn up your manifesting powers. I'm Sarah Sullivan. I'm so happy to have you here. These daily meditative, grounding, experiential time with me is in an I'm so in such a weird space today, so I'm just going to be real with that. I'm like, bah, what am I speaking about? Anyways, we're meeting every day at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, all this week. So today's Tuesday, so through the end of this week, because I know that what I taught in the Art of Effortless Feminine Manifestation, which was a 4-part live Facebook video series I did last week or the week before, you can find those videos at lifestylized.com/effortless. They're also right here in this very Facebook group, so you can check them all out here as well, but you can also go to lifestylized.com/effortless and learn all about the 4-step formula to literally be in effortless manifestation. So the intention for these videos is to practice together, to take some of those concepts and to breathe together, to visualize together, to ground together, all sorts of ways in which to anchor that information, because that formula is way less about doing and much more about being, which is a whole different kind of concept. It's not what the world tells us to do. And so I know that having just learned that information, you may not necessarily have grounded it fully into your beingness, and it may take a little bit. So this is my invitation and my offering and my gift to you for this week. And then, of course, for those of you that are super excited, there is a continuation program that I'm offering to actually give you a tangible experience of coming up with what a desire that you want to manifest, going through a process with other women and some very specific tools, some of which I'm sprinkling in as a freebie fun giveaway here, but many that are deeper and more profound, so that by the end of the 8 weeks of that program, you will actually have had the full-on experience of manifesting something very specific, something potentially big in your life, and then walking away knowing that that can be rinse and repeat, and give you the certainty and the ability to manifest pretty much whenever you desire. So go watch those videos if you haven't. Today we're going to do a little less meditating and grounding. We're going to start with some of that, but today we're going to talk about and become aware of where we're putting our attention, where we're putting our focus. Oftentimes we don't quite get what we're desiring because we're focused in the wrong direction. Simply put, right? I posted something on my private Facebook wall earlier today, and somebody responded and said, "Oh my God, I'm manifesting so fast right now. It's so great. And I just have to be careful of what I'm manifesting." Thanks, Sarah. Good to have you here again. Lovely. You are like my tried and true tribe here. I'm so happy you show up every day for these videos. It makes it feel so good to be here. And I want to speak to that briefly, because manifesting is not something that we turn on, even though I'm saying tune in and turn on. It's actually something we're doing all the time. We are constantly in a stream of energetics, and we're constantly directing that energy one way or the other. The problem is most of us are actually not directing. We're just allowing it to happen based on thoughts that we're thinking, based on experiences that we've had, based on beliefs that we've formed, based on, all sorts of garbage we've been taught from the world that I like to call the matrix world. And then all of a sudden we're getting things that we don't want, or we're getting things that we kind of want, but it comes in a slightly different package, or we're completely manifesting in the wrong direction. Has anybody ever had that experience? You're like, man, I wanted to bring in this, and I'm absolutely bringing in the opposite of that. Well, that's because we're always manifesting. And the intention is to let's direct the energies of that which is already happening into getting what we most want. But for that to happen, we need to know what we want. And yeah, exactly. You're picking up what I'm putting down. We need to know what we want. And we have to get in a new neural pathways, a new habit of really focusing on the good things in our life. That is something that is not always easy because this world has conditioned us to be in focusing on what's not happening. You know, you see, look in the political climate, we're going to stand against, we're going to fight against, we're going to resist. I'm like, that's not going to help get us what we want to get. That's actually going to put us further into what we don't want, which is why we have the president we have. Not to get a little political, but I'm going to get a little political. We actually have him in office because he was so good at getting us to pay attention to him. He was so good at rousting us and riling us up that every single person in this country and the world actually put their energy towards him, and therefore he manifested as our leader. Perfect example of, for those of us that don't agree and did not want him as our leader, of manifesting something that you don't want, even though, because you weren't focused good enough, well enough, strong enough on what it was you do want. And that happens all the time in our daily lives. We get so caught up in the energetic of something we don't want because it's a potent energy. It's a strong energy. It wants to pull us. So today, I'm going to give you a very specific tool, and we are going to do a little breathing together and a little connecting together, but I'm going to give you a very specific tool in which to begin to focus on the good things in your life so that you can begin to redirect those neural pathways, redirect your Grand Canyon of thought into a new river, as I've talked about in the Art of Effortless Manifestation videos. Thanks for the thumbs ups. And begin to put our attention on that which is desired versus that which is not desired. You know, I think there's a phrase, people are either motivated by moving away from pain or by moving toward pleasure. More often than not, people are motivated away from pain. And therefore, that's what we're focused on. What's the pain? What's the problem? Which is a very masculine way of thinking. Like, what's the problem? What's the point? We look for the problem in which to think we're solving it. But in the very looking for the problem, we're actually driving our attention toward the problem and then creating more energetic energy towards the problem. So let's shift that. Let's shift that up today. So let's take a moment to ground in and breathe. And I'm hoping that my internet stays. I'm having a little bit of a wonky signal, so let's manifest me staying live consistently here. All right, so I invite you to put your feet on the ground or sit cross-legged or stand up as I am today. Close your eyes. Go ahead and put one hand on your belly, just below your belly button, one hand on your heart. And we're just gonna breathe. We're just gonna get a little centered, a little connected. We're gonna become more present to this moment. Just feeling what that feels like to touch your body, to become aware of your breath. Allowing yourself to leave whatever distractions have been surrounding you up until this moment, allowing yourself to become embodied. So letting your feet, if they are on the ground, feel really firm. That hand on your belly really holding your energy there. Your hand on your heart really pressing up against your heart. So you're feeling the sensation of the physical energy between your second and third chakras and your heart chakra and the breath that feeds it all. So I invite you to begin to breathe into your body. And the intention of the breath today is to cleanse out, push out, release out any energies of what you haven't gotten, what hasn't been, what you don't want. Just, you may not even know at the moment. This is not a head thing. We're just going to use the breath to guide into your body. Breathing into every extremity. Maybe there's an ache in your shoulder, maybe an ache in your hip, or an ache in your leg, and you don't want that. So let's just breathe toward that, filling that area with as much breath as you possibly can. Surrendering with every out-breath. Breathing back in towards anything that's taking up bandwidth. Might be a thought up in your head. So if it's a thought up in your head, it's breathe some energy up into your head. Breathe it up, breathe it up, breathe it up, breathe it up. And releasing it out. Imagine it just cascading out with every exhale. You can do that a few more times, just scanning your body, finding anything that may not feel so good, that you're just like, nah, I don't want that. Without thinking about not wanting that, you're just bringing some love and attention with your breath into that area of your body. Wherever you're guided, might not make sense. Maybe it's in your toe, maybe it's in your cheek, maybe it's in this elbow. Doesn't matter. Just breathe into it. Expanding, expanding, expanding. See if you can reach the breath all the way into that space. Surrendering, letting it out, letting it flow, out, out, out. A couple more breaths. See if there's anything else. Just noticing, might not show up as anything more than just a little sensation, a little tingle, a little numbness, a little ache, a little pain, a little whatever. Just breathe into it. Trust that you're doing your work. It's not about your mind to figure it out. We're not going to go figuring it out. We're just going to keep breathing. Couple more breaths. Consciously meeting where you may find any resistance or any type of resistance type feeling, and breathing it out. Whew. And I invite you to just breathe normally. Keep your eyes closed for a minute longer and just feel what might be different. Do you feel anything at all? Has anything shifted? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel more expanded? Do you feel softer? Do you feel more relaxed? Maybe you feel more agitated. No judgment. Just noticing what might be different, if anything. Alright. So you can go ahead and open your eyes, and I want you to just hold out your hands. It doesn't have to be in front of you, just I want you to, I'm actually back up so you can see me. You just want to be in an open position. So if you're sitting, you can just have your hands open, your arms open. I just want you to be in a receptive energy to hear this practice, this tool that I'm going to give you. So what ends up happening, again, especially for us all us type A doers out there, the really good doozers, is it's so easy at the end of the day to focus on what didn't get done and all the ways that we may have failed to accomplish that which we set out to do, and all the ways that we want to beat ourselves up because of past patterns or what people have told us. Oh, you've got ADD, or oh, you're such a procrastinator, or oh, you must not really want that, or oh, you don't want to work hard enough, or oh, you're lazy, or oh, there's not enough time in the day, or anything and everything that would actually have you be more focused on what it is that you don't want. Okay? So I'm going to give you a very specific practice, and I want you to type in whatever you get, and I call it a fabulous flaunt. The intention behind a fabulous flaunt is to begin to find something brag-worthy in your daily life that you can flaunt about. And it's going to feel, for those of you that haven't practiced this with me, some of you who are here have been in courses and have a sense of this, and many women resist this very much, because when the idea of actually celebrating and bragging, or like I call it flaunting, feels really, to some of us in the beginning, it feels like, oh, I don't want people to think less of me, which is hilarious, right? Like, why would they think less of you when you're celebrating something worthy? Like, we want to celebrate with you. But we often hold back from that because we're afraid of what people will think. And we're afraid of actually being too braggy or too this or too that. But what ends up happening is then we get caught up in the flip side of that, and we beat ourselves up, and we tend to look at what didn't get done, or what didn't happen, and why it didn't get happen. We get so caught in our brains, and then that carries into the next day, and then we wake up the next day feeling really crappy about ourselves. And if you watched the video 4 days ago, on Thursday, the 8th, I talk about a very specific tool, the energetic investment assessment. What's your return on investment? And that's what happens, right? We wake up and we're actually already expending very valuable energy because we haven't taken the time to celebrate and energize ourselves and appreciate more than anything what we actually have created, what we have manifested. So that when we're not doing that, that puts us in a state of manifesting what we don't want because we're constantly focusing on what we don't want, so we're getting more of what we don't want. And the only way to redirect that is to begin focusing on what we have received, what we have done, what we have created, what we're actually excited about. I mean, one way of doing this is absolutely put on, a gratitude practice. That is a very quick and easy way, is to have a gratitude practice. But I'm saying let's go a little further than even a gratitude practice and actually flaunt about something that you've created and get in the habit of really scanning your life for everything good that has happened to you. So I want you to feel into and think about, both feel and think about, in the last 24 hours, what is one thing that you can flaunt about? Now, for some of you, that may be just simply, I did not hit snooze more than once on my alarm this morning, right? So that may be flaunt worthy. Start there. That is perfectly acceptable. Flaunts are not necessarily for the biggest, woohoo, I've done all this really good stuff and I want to flaunt about it. Flaunts are actually better served. I mean, either way, it's good, but they're better served when you actually find the tiniest things to be like, atta girl, about. Because that's really what's going to develop the new muscle and the new neural pathways. And certainly if something big happened, like, hey, I manifested a new client, woohoo! That's a huge flaunt as well. Yeah, so I want you to be thinking over the next couple days, and I know there's a few of you live here. Let's see, we got a couple of you on, and I want you to type in a flaunt right now. And you can, I like to play, I'm the fabulous Sierra, and I fabulously flaunt that I am such a brilliant, inspired person that everywhere I go, including a visit that I had last night with a friend / colleague / something, a business partner for Rano, that I got to support him. And in supporting him, I got to support myself because I need to take the same exact advice I gave him, and by helping him, I got clear on what I needed to do for myself. And I flaunt that because that is how badass I am, that in serving others, I also served myself. I'm so cool. All right, so there's a version of a fabulous flaunt. So I want to see a couple fabulous flaunts. I'm the fabulous, say your name, and I fabulously flaunt. Give me something, give me anything. I fabulously flaunt that I finally mastered gluten-free pancakes. That's a flaunt. I fabulously flaunt that I actually got outside for lunch instead of sitting over my computer screen working my ass off over lunch. I fabulously flaunt that I actually bit my tongue and didn't blow up at my boyfriend today, and I breathed instead and actually avoided a fight. Now these are not my flaunts, these are example flaunts, but I want you to give me some flaunts, okay? And I want you to practice this tool all day long and all week long and all the rest of your life, actually. And really begin to spend every day in this forum flaunting about something. And believe me, there's a lot of women in this group that have been practicing these flaunts, so we're going to celebrate you, we're going to upride you, which means we're going to say, yeah, that's amazing, and I love that, and you've inspired me, and you go girl, which is what an upride is. And this is your chance to practice focusing on all of the things that you've done right, all of the things that have been in a positive direction for you, and all of the things that are worthy of sharing and inspiring others. Because when you're flaunting, it gives me permission to flaunt. When I'm flaunting, it gives you permission to flaunt. And the more that we actually focus on what it is that we're co-creating, collaborating, creating, conjuring, and celebrate them, the more we actually get in that focused energy, and the manifestation begins to flow in the right direction, which is creating more of what we do want. All right, so I'm not seeing any flaunts here, so you must be a shy little group or you can't think of one. I want you to be as simple as possible. Whatever it is, I flaunt. I'm the fabulous Sierra, and I fabulously flaunt that I was so awesome and I really wanted a compost bin, and I researched it, and we got a $20 compost bin that's going to serve my entire community house needs, and we got it for 20 bucks because I researched where you could get one if you go to a class, and I flaunt that, and now it's all set up and ready to go. All right, Crystal, you said I've got everything it takes to succeed in my business. That's awesome. That's more of an affirmation. I want you to flaunt what you actually did that proved that to yourself today. Or I want you to flaunt about the evidence that you have. I'm the fabulous Sarah, and I fabulously flaunt manifesting with my mom and an overnight trip to the beach and money for the hotel stay. Yeah! That's a great flaunt. Exactly. So Crystal, give it another go. You fabulously flaunt. You've got lots to flaunt about that. You rocked your new conference, and you rocked the connections, and you got acknowledged, and people had heard of you when you went to your conference, right? All the things that you're super excited about, and even some of the things you might not be super excited about, but you're like, oh, that was really good. Like, I actually didn't eat bread today because I'm on a gluten-free diet, or I'm on a grain-free diet. That's a flaunt. Big, small, insignificant, significant, none of it matters. It's the importance of focusing on the things that you want to celebrate that you've actually done, and you flaunt that. So Crystal, I'd love to see another one from you, and anybody else that's here, and Sarah gave a great example. And I'd love to see more on the board. So if you're watching this now, if you're watching this later, whenever you're watching this video, ladies, please share a flaunt, and we'll put up an actual thread, probably today, where you can actually share some flaunts. All right, that's all the time I have for today. Keep breathing. Keep focusing on that which you have created. Keep flaunting. Keep managing your energy. Watch the 4-part videos. Once again, the link is lifestyleize.com/effortless. And you can check out all those 4-part series. And I will be back here tomorrow. All right, what do we got? I am the fabulous Valeria, and I fabulously flaunt manifesting love and joy to people that surround me as I used to do before. Woohoo! Awesome! Way to go, girl. Flaunt it, flaunt it, flaunt it. I want to see those flaunts. Flaunt, flaunt, flaunt. All right. I'm so awesome, and I fabulously flaunt that I'm training my team like a rock star. Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that is awesome. Rock on says, doesn't it feel good? It's just like, oh, I feel so good. It's so good. So I leave you with that excitement. Come back, bring your girlfriends. And if you're curious about the next journey, go to that page, lifestyleize.com/effortless. Get on the phone with me, let's chat, let's talk about how you can actually join the next round of this awesome experience that I'm doing in an 8-week container. And either way, I'm excited to have you here, and I cannot wait to read your flaunts. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is the Tune In and Turn Up Your Manifesting Powers live Facebook series. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same bat channel, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. See you then, ladies. Mwah.